What's going on, guys? I'm Jesse from Jesse's Garage and Adventures, and today I've got an exciting new product here. This is the POVTOR 9-inch RGB off-road lights. These are very similar to a set of lights that I have done a video on in the past, and these lights, instead of just lighting up white, you can actually control the color around here, and they've got a high beam and a low beam. I really like the original version, so when they came out with these, I just kind of had to pick up a set and go through them. What my plans are is I'm going to demonstrate some of the stuff on the bench here, and then tomorrow we'll install them. I'm going to go through what comes in the packaging and how it's all, Gerald, get down. Hey guys, Jesse here. I just wanted to pop in real fast and just say that I have finally reached the monetization level where I can have members. So if you guys do come back here a lot and enjoy what I do, gear reviews, camping, that kind of stuff, working on trucks, please consider joining my channel membership. If you do join that, I also have an exclusive Facebook group that I'll add you to, and we can all chat and have open Discord in there. I'm currently laid off, so every little bit helps, and if you guys would like more videos like this, please just jump down in there. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks. I'm also going to be going through the packaging just to kind of show you guys what you get, and then how to wire everything, and we'll get a good look at this RGB, and hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that pretty well while it's not on a truck, and then maybe even when it's on the truck and you guys can see it. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so before we go ahead and hook this up, I just wanted to show you what all comes in the package. So you've got a user manual with some installation instructions, and then they've also got a phone application that you can control the RGB with. They've got an RGB light controller right here. So the actual light has got two plugs on it. It's got this Deutsch style plug here, and then it's got a secondary plug that will plug into the controller. So this will actually turn the lights on and off. This one will control the colors. This has got quite a bit of length, so you can mount this kind of wherever you need, then run these wherever. This is a simple power on and power off. These come in a set of two, and then each one comes with its own pigtail. I have already got these older style lights on my truck, so I'm gonna, hopefully this is all the same, and reuse the existing wiring that I have. If not, I'll have to make some modifications. And then they also come with mounting hardware. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my battery and bring it over, and then hook the RGB up. We might even take it downstairs and I can show you guys the high and the low. Alright guys, so the RGB stuff's super simple. All you do is get on right here, there's a QR code, you'll scan that, and then that will present you with an app. You go on the Google Play Store or your Android or your iPhone Play Store or whatever. You download the app, and then the app has got a bunch of different modes within it. You can change the color by using this scroll wheel on it. You just rotate around and it changes the color. You can also change the intensity. Yeah, you can do all kinds of settings. It's also got a setting where you can play music through your phone, and it will change to it. I've got the music pretty low, and hopefully this is not a copyrighted music, but you can see that it does some things. It's got a microphone setting so that as you're talking to it, it will change. That does a lot of different, types of stuff. We've got a style setting where there's different modes. Like it'll roll through colors. There's a ton of different modes here. And then you've also got a different type where you can click these different modes, and it's got some more preset modes in it. I think it's pretty cool. I don't think I'll have it rolling through colors on mine, but I may set it to blue because well, maybe not, because blue you're not supposed to have on vehicles, or amber possibly. I do like having amber colored lights on my vehicles. And then there's just all kinds of different presets. You can play around with it to find them all. That's a pretty cool one. It's got like a scrolling red. I also like the orange a lot. Orange, amber, kind of similar color. I'm going to try and bring this a little bit closer to you guys. I've just got the wiring twisted together and then taped just for demonstration purposes. We'll fix that later. but it does look pretty good. And I'll put it on a different color scrolling mode, that way you can see what it does. So I think that's pretty cool. So it's got a bunch of different ones. You can play around, figure out which ones you like the most. I actually think it's pretty cool to let run around in the background. But we're going to go ahead and go over the wiring real fast, just to make this really easy for you guys. So the black wire is obviously your ground, your negative. You've got a white wire and a red wire. Your white wire is your low beam, and your red wire will be a high beam. So if you've got a switch panel, you can connect the ground wherever you want, and then just select different buttons for these, or you can do it to toggle switches. They actually do sell a complete wiring kit that comes with switches and everything, but I've already got their switch panel in the truck, so I would just prefer to run it off the switch panel instead of having additional switches in the truck. Okay, so now to demonstrate the actual light wiring, I've just got it, once again, taped. You'll want to do something better, obviously, but we're just going to touch the positive wire to the low beam, which the low beam is the white wire. And then you can see that's the low beam. We'll give you a good look at it. And it does actually illuminate the LED bar while they're on. And then we will click it over to the high beam. And it is visibly much brighter. And it's also got a pretty sharp cutoff. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this downstairs and we'll set it up and show you guys how they look down there. So something that I want to mention is that these can run on anything from 12 to 32 volts. And in the instructions, they tell you what size wire to use. So if you're running it on 12 volts, you should, for 2 lights, you should run 12 or thicker gauge. This is probably technically too thin, but I've only got about 6 inches of it, and we're just doing this for testing demonstrations. The wiring on my truck is a lot thicker, so it should be able to handle it just fine. And then they've also got for 24 and 32 volts. That's not a typical application, but you can do it if you have that. All right, guys, so it's essentially completely pitch dark in here. What I'm going to do is turn this little flashlight I've got off. So it is now pitch black in here. And we're going to kick the low beams on. Alright, so that's your low beam. It's got a very sharp cutoff so that this hopefully wouldn't be too blinding to oncoming vehicles. I just want to make what seems to me is to be an obvious note, but these are not lights to be using while you're typically driving. These are to be used while you're away from other people. But without it being a flood pattern, it does give you the ability to hopefully not blind people coming around turns before you can get the light shut off. And then we'll hit the high beam now. What I'll try and do is, yeah, you can pretty clearly see the difference. I'm going to hit the high beam while low beam's on. So that's the difference. Alright guys, I'll show you the RGB and all that stuff later on in the video when we get them installed on the truck tomorrow. But that's a pretty good overview so far. And I'm really looking forward to having these. I already love the older versions, so I'm sure that these are just going to be better. Alright guys, so I'm here. We pulled the old lights off, which the old lights are right there. They look functionally identical on the outside. The only difference is the RGB. But on this, I had an issue. Those lights they're big, heavy lights. So I had an issue with this bumper when I made it. This bar, this is something I added on, and it would just flex going down the road like it wobbled. So what I did was I took some angle iron and welded it from the back and then down under the bumper to make this a lot more sturdy so that running down the road the lights are pretty solid. So from this point on it was pretty simple, just bolt them on and then get the wiring hooked up. And like I said before, I just reused the wiring that I already had existing on the truck. If you're installing lights and you don't have anything existing already, you just need to make sure that you use the gauge of wire that it calls for or bigger, and then you want to fuse and relay this. I am using the POVTOR wireless switch panel for this, so it comes with fuses and relays already included in the switch panel, so I just used everything that I already had on the vehicle. And then once I got the main wires hooked up, I just had to hook up the actual RGB controller, which was very simple. That's what I'm doing here, is I just spliced some powers and then spliced some grounds into already existing wires. And then I just hooked them up, and this was super easy. Alright, I just wanted to do a difference between my headlights and the lights, and we'll turn the headlights off afterwards. So I've got them on the POVTOR switch. We'll kick the front lights on. They're quite a bit brighter than my headlights. But then we can click the high beams on, and they are much brighter and they project way further down the road. So this is with no headlights on. This is the low beams, and that's the high beams. The high beams are so much incredibly brighter. So we've now seen the headlights, so why don't we check out the DRLs? So the DRL has got an app that you can use to control everything. You can set it to almost any color you could think of. I really like this kind of amber red color. The app has also got a setting to where you can go off of music it plays. So you can't hear it just playing in the truck, but different kind of musics. And it's also got a setting that will go off of voice activation, as you can see here. And then it comes preloaded with over 200 preloaded settings, 256. And they all do different things. Many of them are similar, just with different colors. I've got a couple here that I had selected that I liked. So I like 160. I like 157. And I like 5. And 83 is just a white light, and then a different light will come through it eventually. There is also an auto setting that will just automatically scroll through different light settings. And then you can also change the speed and the brightness of the lights. So you can turn the light brightness up, or you could turn it down. Whatever makes sense for whatever you're doing. I think 4 is pretty cool. I like 5. I mean, I like most of them. I really like the blue color, but I don't want to drive around on the street with blue lights on my vehicle. So that's all I've really got for you guys for this video. I do like the lights. I've had the previous version on my truck for I believe 4 or 5 months now with no complaints at all. And I just wanted to say again, if you guys did enjoy this content, please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys all, and also consider becoming a member. That's a new exciting thing for my channel.